So for today, instead of staying in this office that you've already seen, I'm going to take you out into Barcelona and show you some of the sights. Let's go.
Tarjeta.
Sí. What I wanted to discuss today was why I moved to Barcelona. The story starts really when I was getting out of the army back in 2012. I went on temporary duty to Italy and Germany for 6 months in total. I loved Europe, and I wondered, when I got out of the army, how do I go back to Europe? The difficult part for an American going overseas and trying to stay overseas is you need a work visa. There are pathways to get overseas and stay overseas. You could be a retiree, you can have a job. There's a lot of different ways. You could be the spouse of somebody that has a passport or a work visa overseas. And I had none of those at that point. So my best thought was, well, Puerto Ricans were originally Spaniards, for the most part, Spaniards and Africans kind of, and local Indians of the island, Taino Indians. So I thought, okay, well, what if I could find a Spaniard in my bloodline that never actually renounced their Spanish citizenship because America took over Puerto Rico back in 1898 as a result of the Spanish-American War. So I thought, man, what if I found a Spaniard and I could trace that back and then go to Spain and say, hey, Spain, they actually never renounced their citizenship. I'm due a passport for Spain. Here's my lineage. So here's what I did. I hired a genealogist and I said, genealogist, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out all my family members and I'm trying to go back as far as I possibly can. So this genealogist, she had a package that goes back, I think 7 or 8 generations. It was a couple $100. And I said, great. She asked for some data. I provided her as much data as possible about my mom, my dad, and all sorts of folks. And she went back and started searching. Again, my intent was to find a Spaniard. She was just searching names and dates and all that sort of jazz and as much information as she could about 7 or 8 generations of my family. As we were doing the genealogy search, I was researching the nationality laws for Spain. One of the things I stumbled upon was actually an exception to the nationality law, which allowed Latin Americans, including Brazilians and a couple of other kind of not typical Spanish speakers. It allowed us to solicit for nationality in Spain after 2 years of legal residence. That includes Puerto Rico. And now, as a Puerto Rican, I had the option to come to Spain, live here for 2 years, and get a passport. I knew that back in 2012. Now the question is, how the hell do you get here legally? That was my problem. So, ka-chow, I've got a pathway. Now I need to figure out how the hell I get to Spain. Fast forward, I get a job in United Kingdom. I'm a network engineer here, I'm a big boy, and the thought is, man, I wonder if I can get a job in Spain eventually.
Gracias.
Nada.
Okay, so I moved to the UK. After about 1.5 years in the UK, I got a remote job pretty much in Europe. Perfect time to look at exploring how I get to Spain. It's a lot more convenient from the UK than it is from America. Well, conveniently in 2023, Spain introduced the Digital Nomad visa. I applied for the Digital Nomad visa and decided to move to Barcelona. Why Barcelona? Well, you can't live in Spain and not live near the beach. I was flying a lot, so I didn't want to have connections in order to go to the places I was going to unless they were, really far away. There are 2 major cities in Spain, Madrid and Barcelona. I'm not going to go to Madrid, it's nowhere near a beach. So, Barcelona, here I am. I'm on my 3rd year, and yeah, we'll see where the citizenship thing goes.